Chapter 10. Obeying Orders. Jolly Robin's worrying wife wouldn't give him a moment's peace. "You'd better get along over to the raspberry patch," she kept telling him. "If you don't hurry, that terrible Reddy Woodpecker will eat every berry. He'll snatch each one as it ripens, and we shall not have any to feed our children." Now, Jolly Robin didn't care to have any trouble with Reddy Woodpecker, but he soon saw that if he avoided Reddy, he would only have trouble with Mrs. Robin. So at last he said, "Very well, I'll attend to him, my love." And off he flew, looking much braver than he felt. You'd have thought to see him that he longed to find Reddy Woodpecker. Really, he hoped that he wouldn't find Reddy anywhere. Much to Jolly Robin's dismay, he met Reddy Woodpecker among the raspberry bushes. Jolly jumped when he saw that dashing newcomer, but it was too late to dodge out of sight. Reddy Woodpecker saw him. So Jolly Robin made up his mind to put on a bold front. Sitting on a fence post that overlooked the raspberry patch, he stared hard at Reddy Woodpecker. He thought perhaps he could frighten him away. He might as well have stared at the barn door. To his great distress, Reddy Woodpecker picked a berry and flew to a nearby post, where he sat and ate the fruit with relish. When he had finished a dainty, he pretended to notice Jolly Robin for the first time, and he bowed and scraped in the politest fashion. Still, Jolly Robin did not utter a word, nor did he return any of Reddy's bows, but he began to feel himself swelling. He began to feel his feathers ruffle up, and he knew then that he must speak soon or burst, for there was no doubt that he was growing angry. So presently he cried, "Was that raspberry ripe?" "Yes," replied Reddy Woodpecker, "and very juicy." Now, Jolly Robin hadn't meant to ask any such question as that. He had meant to make some cutting remark, but he was so in the habit of being pleasant to everybody that it was very hard for him to be disagreeable. "Ahem," he said. "Pardon me, sir. Did you know that my wife and I have been expecting to pick these raspberries for our children?" But he might as well have said nothing at all, for Reddy Woodpecker only laughed and exclaimed, "You're a joker, aren't you?" "No, I'm not," Jolly replied. "Yes, you are," said Reddy Woodpecker. "You can't fool me. I know well enough that you don't intend to bring your children up on berries. I've seen you pulling angleworms for them too many times." Then Reddy dropped off his post and clung to a bush while he picked another berry that seemed redder than the rest. "Well," Jolly thought, "I've talked to him anyhow. At least I can tell my wife that." So he left Reddy to enjoy the fruit and sailed away to his home. "You're back very quickly," Mrs. Robin remarked when she saw him. "Didn't you find that woodpecker person?" "Oh, yes, I found him," Jolly explained. "I found him and I talked with him, too." Mrs. Robin cast a sharp glance at her husband. "Where is he now?" she inquired. "He's eating raspberries in the berry patch," Jolly told her. "When I talked with him, I said—" "You said?" Mrs. Robin interrupted. "You said? The question is, what did you do? If you didn't fight him, you must go back and do your duty." There was nothing he could do except obey her. So, feeling very desperate, Jolly Robin hurried back to the place where the raspberry bushes grew by the fence. He gave 3 loud chirps to encourage himself, and then he darted down and sailed very close to Reddy Woodpecker's head. He didn't pause an instant to see what effect this action had on Reddy Woodpecker, but flew away as quickly as he could. "I guess I scared him that time," he muttered. Meanwhile, Reddy Woodpecker stared after him and watched him as he disappeared among the apple tree tops. "Well, what do you think of that?" he said to himself with a grin.